Hello everyone, friends, Mozart here. I believe it would be right to record a detailed and comprehensive overview of the current situation, at least to give an understanding of what is happening now, what I am doing, and also about my future plans. At the very least, staying silent in the current situation is foolish from my point of view, as if nothing happened. No, of course it happened, and it happened for many this Monday morning. That is, not only for cryptocurrency holders. Today, all markets are falling. Today, there are massive liquidations, including for holders of Nvidia stocks. And what about considering the broader implications of just each of these alone individually? The Japanese, who have one of the strongest trading halts in the last 40 years. The Koreans, the same, the very same. And today, this thing happened across all markets. Is this a black swan? Should we compare it to 1929 in America? Well, this is probably a black swan, but not as strong. That is, it was much stronger and worse back then. Overall, I am absolutely ready for you to just tear me apart here, really. You might blame me for listening to me and so on, and supposedly losing everything because of me, but that's fine. The second point is whether I consider myself guilty and that I caused someone to lose money. Of course not. I have warned many times that this is the market and no one is insured here. If one blogger, in this case, takes some actions, I am speaking exclusively for myself. I am not speaking for everyone, for you, and I do not give clear recommendations. In my videos, in my words, there has never been a single word about it going this way or that way. I always talk about probability and if. At least, in this case, I'm not hyping or gaining followers like many others do. Therefore, I don't think there's anything to hold on to here. Yes, it happened. It didn't happen as everyone expected. It didn't happen as I predicted. It hurts. It's unpleasant. And it's unpleasant for me too, of course. But again, it's not fatal. For many of you, this will be a good lesson for the future. You should not listen to just one blogger, but at least a variety of opinions. Even better, have your own trading strategy and simply take into account what bloggers say to possibly adjust it, but do not blindly trust one person. This is not the first time. It has happened before. It happened in 2021, and such declines also occurred in 2020, both in 2019, and in March when the corona started. I went through all of this. I felt all of this. So now, although it hurts a bit, it's not too bad. Not too bad. This is just, in my humble opinion, my personal opinion, on the current situation, regarding the current situation. Now let's talk about the market. Specifically what is happening right now and what we can expect next. Let's go. So, long on Bitcoin, right now. The average entry remains at 59,700, which is currently at a 12% loss, roughly speaking. Okay, let's say I close this position with a loss, so nothing changes with Bitcoin for now. By the way, don't rush if you're also in a long position. Nothing changes here. I won't even cover the profit from the previous long position. The average entry there was 56,800, and the average exit was 67,000, which was almost a 17% gain. Here it's a 12% loss, but it will still remain profitable overall. These are the last two long positions. All right, but I haven't closed it yet. I'll also analyze what I'll do next with Ethereum. I bought back the lower limit order for Ethereum, and my average entry was 2,633. Just the arithmetic average. And now this loss is around 11.5 and also 12%, approximately the same. So, I will also watch what happens with Ethereum. At least I will wait until the end of the day. In any case, I will write everything in the Telegram channel. Whether I will close it or not, or add more to the average, we will see. Let's see how the situation develops, how the fund will trade today. And maybe they will say something there, some signals from the Fed. Because they will more sharply ease liquidity in the market and in the financial system overall. So, The most important thing to understand about Bitcoin right now, the most important thing. Here the price has come again to the lower boundary of this entire channel, for the umpteenth time. I don't remember such long sideways movements within such a descending boundary. Considering that I've been in crypto since 2017, there haven't been any. Until the 17th, I think, yes, there were. That is, in 2015, 2014, this long cut, I think there was something similar. The situation is very similar. It resembles 2015, 2013, 2015, and 2017, 13, 15, for the following recoveries, not in 2021. So, look, there are currently two strong supports for Bitcoin. This is still not a bear market, I repeat, from the price perspective. This is a very strong, good, serious drop. I'm talking about Bitcoin, but it's not a bear market. Even if you look purely at the weekly moving averages, the price on the weekly chart has only come to the 50-week moving average. Here is the yellow 50-week moving average. Well, essentially, that's almost a year. For almost a year, this is not a bear market. It's a strong correction. There is no bear market here from a technical standpoint. It simply doesn't exist yet. This is just one wave of expansion, and the correction to it. Until we break this low and consolidate below it, it's still a bull market, purely technically speaking. I'm specifically talking about Bitcoin. As for altcoins, it's clear they've been driven down, yes. There's a bear market there. The bull market never even started. It was just a rebound. As it has become clear now, what happened before March was just a serious rebound. Looking at Ethereum, it's the same. A wave of expansion. 1, 2, now 1, 2, 3. Well, here's a serious level, $2,000. If we settle below it, that's a transition into a bear market. For now, it's just a strong correction. A very strong correction, and if we take some visible wave of growth, it is currently at 61.8, 78.6. Very strong, but an acceptable correction. Here, we also hit the 50, 100, and 200 moving averages from top to bottom. We are currently testing them. Next on the daily chart, the important levels are first 52 to 54. If we hold them today, let's say we do, that would be fine, that would be good. Then it's quite likely that we can bounce back at least to somewhere around 55 to 56. And if we're really lucky, return to retest all these zones because there's a serious gap left from the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Previously, it was below at 58. Now it's at 62. This whole gap. Well, I think it's not traded yet. No, it's trading. Yes, actually 62,800. That's the target. A return to Bitcoin. If we don't hold, if we close below the 52 mark, then it's quite likely it could go even lower. Remember, Iran hasn't attacked anyone yet. It can go up to here. This is the last level of such serious support at 44,500 to 46,500. This might happen, I'm saying right away, considering what is happening right now, the nature of the current movement. That's why the minimum goal is to see how the day closes, and if I see that it closes at least above 52, I might not cut the loss on this long position for now. That means I might. Just place a lower limit order to average down additionally, just doubling up to X2 here. I have a standard loss and a standard position here, and I'll double up to X2. The average entry here, for example, I'll place a limit order here or buy back at the current levels. We'll see, I don't know yet. A lot will depend on external factors, and we'll see further. But the minimum goal is to close above 52. The minimum goal would be good, or rather, it wouldn't be as bad. There's nothing good about it, that's clear. So, let's move on to Ethereum. Unlike Bitcoin, Ethereum has come to the strongest level, essentially below which a bear market should start, which is 2,100 to 2220. If it doesn't hold 2,100, it turns out, if the day closes below 2,100, then there are all chances to continue the decline. To this level, 1700 to 1800. Roughly speaking, I set it at 1790 to be precise. Well, let it be 1800. This level is 100 bucks. This is the place of the overlaid breakout, just like that. If we turn around quickly, we can cross it out. But the strongest level is still this one. We need to base our actions on it 2100 to 2220. We broke through it with a massive cascade of liquidations. To understand the scale of liquidations in terms of pure money, today is one of the largest liquidations. That means there are 140 to 170 million in pure cash. The chart shows without considering leverage. So, something similar happened only at the moment of the Bitcoin exchange traded fund approval. Yes, something like that happened. 140, 170, 140, 170, 140, 150. Interestingly, the CDD is at 0. None of the long-term holders sold anything during this drop. Everyone is just sitting and waiting. Long-term holders. And these are usually the smartest, well, the so-called smart money, who know better what to do and what is happening. But Ethereum has a serious level. So, for Ethereum, just like for Bitcoin, I will decide what to do with the long position at the end of the day. Either I will add to it, for example up to X2, or I will close it with a loss. Well, we'll see. I might not close it, maybe I'll wait another day, and so on. This is regarding Ethereum. Now let's move on to the Colt. Well, altcoins have generally dropped catastrophically, although if you look at the lower boundary of this red descending channel, it's the same. In principle, looking at total 3 for altcoins, it's the same. It looks almost like Ethereum, although this is the market cap without Ethereum. So, on the weekly chart, there's an impulse, a correction to the impulse. This is the point of transition to a bear market for 140 to 420 billion dollars. Also, the 50-day and 200-day moving averages are back. We are testing them from top to bottom. Painful, unpleasant, but for now, this is not a bear market in terms of the capitalization of all altcoins. I am talking about where Solana is involved, where Ethereum is involved, where all the top coins are involved. Of course, most coins are in a bear market. They have even broken their all-time low at the very bottom, but I am looking at total 3, not individual coins. What do we have here in terms of levels? Well, we can also look at some gaps, strong ones at these levels. Well, we tested the strongest one. Here it is. It stands out. And there was a strong one before, and there were strong ones before that. This is the current support, and this has now become resistance. This was also a strong level, and this was also a strong level, which is now resistance. Let me highlight them in red like this. And there you go. Here more or less strong support. This is essentially the turning point into a downward bear market. It's around 460 to 480 billion. And the resistance levels are 520, 535, 540. Those were the levels I was counting on for further decline. Yesterday, I wrote about it, and I mentioned it in the previous video. Now we have broken through them, and they have become resistance. So, Alti has a portfolio, which I have under the hashtag table, and it was still in quite a decent profit overall. Now all that profit is wiped out, meaning everything I traded since October, which is 23 years, all the profit I had, considering all new positions, has dropped to 0. It dropped to 0 and even went into the negative today due to these liquidations. Essentially, all of my work has been erased. And it's unpleasant. I lost quite a lot of time. Overall, it's not a loss for me if I take the October point. And I take the point of October as I then assumed it was the beginning of the alt season. It's all wiped out and even went into the red today. Although now there's a small rebound. It seems to have recovered to break even again. This is a portfolio under the hashtag table. You can generally view it. The support points given in the latest ideas have worked out. Solana was bought there. A lot of things were bought on the spot market. This is on the spot market. And now we will watch how the market behaves. In any case, I'm not doing anything for now. This morning I woke up. I received 5 or 6 margin calls on some positions. I added them. I added and removed margins. That is, I simply huffed the liquidation point there. Although, to be honest, margin calls came in much earlier here. The price still had to drop, about 40% before liquidation. But apparently, there are so many liquidations in the market that the system is being overly cautious and starts sending them out to everyone during such a strong movement. I reduced them further. Yes, I have the funds. Yes, I understand that I can afford it right now. I have pushed the liquidation points even further. Most likely, I won't be pushing them any further. I did not close any position from the portfolio using the hashtag table. Yes, I have adjusted the liquidation points for some coins. Now, I will just wait to see what happens next. I won't add more because it's enough. If I lose all of this as a net loss, it will be enough of a loss. I don't want to risk any more. This will already be a significant part of my total capital in this life. I also understand you, people who don't have, let's say, as much money as I do. And you can't keep adding funds, and I understand that this could have wiped out many of you as well. It could have wiped out others as well, just like many others. Not just like me, but in general, like many others who didn't have the money to add funds. Unfortunately, this is the market, I repeat, and there was nothing I could do here. I can't and couldn't. To help you, that is, I advise taking leverage of only 1.5. That means with leverage of 1.5, the price should drop from the entry point. From the average entry point, if there is an addition, down by 75%. Nowhere did this price drop by 75%. And where I started to get closer, for example, in my case, I was just pushing the margins. But I repeat, I don't consider myself to be at fault for this. Yes, even considering the fact that I never said I guaranteed anything or something like that. But at the same time, I feel my responsibility. I really feel it and I really worry. I truly worry that you listen to me, even though I always say that this is the market, anything can happen. Be prepared for everything. Yes, I had many good trades, and yes, I understand that you saw me as some kind of great trader, believed in me, and then one crash nullified all of that. Everything was just nullified, and this is where risk control and experience come into play. So, this is the first experience. Now you will know what to do in the next similar market. Risk control means you won't go all in and won't keep adding funds, especially with leverage of 10, 20, and so on. You will at least listen to what I say about using leverage of 1.5, and so on. This is all very important if you, of course, stay with me. I understand that many of you will no longer stay with me, and will run far away for a long time. But again, if that makes it easier for you, I truly care about your feelings and emotions. And probably, I wouldn't want to find myself in the situation that most of you are in. But again, I am powerless here. It's just risk control and, yes, some black swan that has just arrived. Sooner or later, it would have come anyway. What difference does it make when it happened? Now or in a year? In a year, it would have been even more painful than now. Because then, for example, if everything were growing now, you would have even more money, and you would have lost twice, 3 times, or 4 times more. It would have been much more painful then. It's better that it happens now. You will gain experience, become more seasoned, conservative people, and so on. Well, I have gone through this many times. I am just saying what usually happens. This has happened more than once in my life. Here. So, let's summarize. First, long Bitcoin and long on Ethereum. So, I'm not doing anything today. Let's watch. For Bitcoin, the main thing is to close above 52. Well, by tonight. We will continue to watch how the situation develops. Either I will add funds to reach X2 leverage, or I will set limit orders for this X2 leverage a bit lower on this long position to sharply shift the average entry point somewhere around 54 if it drops even further. Or I will close with a loss. Simple. Because after all, Iran hasn't even started its operation, its attack.
Nothing happened tonight. I mean in the Middle East. This also applies to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Secondly, altcoins. I added funds for the last time. I wiped out all the profit I had since October, even went into a small loss. In other words, I lost quite a lot of time on this. Yes, this is my mistake. I probably didn't hedge enough. Although, I really didn't expect such a drop, but I've mentioned this more than once. And despite everything, both for Bitcoin and Ethereum, purely technically, and for Total 3, the total market capitalization, it is still a bull market. There was no turning point. We approached it, but we haven't broken the global weekly trend yet. This is still an upward market. It's important to understand this, purely from a technical standpoint. Second and third, because of this, I am not closing my positions in Alti. I will no longer add funds to some coins. The liquidation point is already very low, practically on the floor. I don't know what would have to happen for everything to crash down there, but if it does, that's enough for me. This is the last specific action regarding the table. I won't be leveraging anymore. Now we'll see how it goes. Considering that if we do break Total 3 down on the weekly chart, well, I might close and cut the losses manually. For now, I'm not doing anything. This is important. That's it. And fifth, as I already said, you can throw stones at me. Please, the comments are open. I don't delete anything. And again, can you share your opinion on this situation? What do you think? Do you believe that I am at fault, and how would you? Who do you place this responsibility on? I'm ready to listen. Basically, I've heard this many times before, but if it makes you feel better, I'll continue discussing it with you in the comments. Please, I'm waiting. That's all for now. Thank you all for your attention. This was Mozart. Goodbye, everyone.